as one of the best developers in Mexico.
And we see that through their performances at the youth level. The way
Bobby, we come into this competition, we had the Colorado Rapids in our last game. Max Simpson was their leading scorer on 6 goals. 3 players in this LAFC team have double-digit goals.
LAFC has built with their side. These kids do not care what we have to say about their game, their club-wide game model.
Cleared out by Leon.
Aggressive beyond the goal as a player, you can already see driver, midfielder, and defense. You're always looking forward. You're looking at what that striker is going to do to set the tone. And we can see pretty clearly what Resic has to offer beyond just his
Villalobos, Sam Bruno, and the goal scorer Dempsey, Resic, and James Arteaga.
Impose their style, impose their speed on the game. And for them, the message is keep going. This is how we train every day. This is how we play every weekend. We are used to the speed of the game. We are professional tasks to understand the tactics, to understand the movements that come, and really the pressure that come with being a professional player.
The 3rd minute of the first half. Make sure to tune in immediately at the U15 level. What was it, 4 years ago? And now they're in MLS day, training every day, getting on the field in MLS. These players, that next wave for LAFC. Both signing homegrown contracts. Jaziel Orozco made his debut for RSL last weekend at 17 years old. You're starting to see players play at a younger and younger end of it. All over the top. Guerra springs it out wide. Face now to attack. 4-1 Chope. Resic. Back out wide for Lumsden. Kept in by Santiago. We've got someone in the chat shouting out Dennis Ramirez, the left back so far for LAFC. He has been a force up that left side.
He has. He's been the main player for
Lumsden now working down the right side. Santiago with a head of steam trying to get to the end line. Good battle there. And in the end, Diego Luna comes away the victor for Leon. 30-minute half, 60-minute games here in the group stage of the Generation Adidas Cup. If it ends tied, we go strong. New score in the season is on the bench right now for LAFC. They've got more products.
But right now, Leon is not doing either, and they're getting broken down pretty much every time.
Leon, a rare opportunity in the attacking third here. Dying moments of this first half.
Of course, it's pretty much every time except for this exact time. That comes out in the second half a little flat. There's the complacency problem that happens so often because you go.
Santiago under pressure immediately off his first touch. Leon win it back. Gael Lozano can't keep possession. And now the battle down the wing.
And we had said, SU15 is so important. I think this is a great case study because what often happens at the professional level is that you go up a goal, you go up the plate.
U15s here on Twitch and on the MLS YouTube. Now Leon pushing forward. Santiago out to defend. 1v1. Good cutback. Santiago battling away. Gael Lozano. Santiago.
Win the factor there, but a fantastic transition from LAFC in that one.
Games coming up here on broadcast across the week.
What was their style of play? You almost can't because they're good in every phase. You can't break it down to, oh, they're a possession team or they're a transition team. You know what their ideas are because they're
Robin Aston there. LAFC is preparing their first 2 subs.
Team that won the Champions Division, the first MLS team to do so. He played center midfield and he was everything. He was so good over the length of the tournament.
Best players we've seen. Actor Jesus Montesano in the 40s with us for this broadcast. David Goss and Bobby Warshaw with you as we kick off the Also Applies here.
2 organizations who come from the Bob Bradley coaching tree. Their philosophies, they're different. David, we can already see a unique version of this game taking place for the under-15 age group. Toronto FC City Blue
had the winning goal for TFC. Have those options all on the ball in tough situations. And it was interesting talking with Academy Director Toss Saldana for LAFC. Cross headed away by Caldwell. Second opportunity. Mission Adidas Cup. Quarter
LAFC sending both outside backs forward. Guerra stepped up the hook with a little foul like that.
Ball put in. Guerra now immediately back to work. He is a master on the ball, pulling the strings for this side. Cross comes all the way through the box. Arteaga,
it's decisive. It's taking the front foot. It's sending him,
launching into the press.
a significant shift here from head coach Terry Dunfield. Going from this LAFC team is so talented. They don't often get a fight like this. But now they have it right in front of them. They've seen it for 30 minutes. They know what the challenge is.
The LAFC coach kicked off, and Bobby LAFC on the front foot most of that first half. Substitution showing Jamal. Santiago and Bay, who the responsibility to be the holding midfielder.
When you blow the whistle in that situation, you have to know what you're going to do. So while it's great that all views were considered, chance for your decision already in your mind.
This ball gets to the end line. In this game, he has stood up so far. While Chobe in open space. 1v1 now.
When it got to such a reactivity, some retreating, emotional retreating from TFC, where they just want to get back and protect the goal as much as possible.
Now stepping forward, he's shown his poise in possession this game. Game played at this tactical level and the back and forth from both the players and the coaches.
And especially from Toronto FC for what they've been through over the last 2 years. Not many game height is so impressive from these young players.
All down the line.
That is the word for the day. The opportunity to play in a knockout game, to play on the broadcast in front of people watching.
The largest and first full running of the U15 tournament in GA Cup history. And which club will be the one? Which group will be coach for the Portland Timbers? And has moved his way up to this U15 level after coming to the United States from Brazil.
Game, struggling to score, wait until the 60th minute. And if you're Portland, you come into this game, your number one objective has to be to keep the game tight for the first 15. Make change. And for them, it's about dealing with the emotions. I mean, what a roller coaster the tournament has been. You come in as an underdog. You have a chip on your shoulder. Then you make it out of the group stage. You win the quarterfinal, and all of a sudden you say, okay, I'm going to
One of the best 1v1 attackers. Also got Eric Izodia, who had high in that battle with Villalobos.
And for LAFC,
now LAFC get to the end line into the broadcast, so answer any of them. We'll get scores from around the fields as the games go along to keep you updated. Of course, at the U15 level, all we have is the one game coming up after this one, as Atlanta United will face off against Valencia in.
It's been so good from Guerra, the defensive midfielder for LAFC, to hold his spot, be in a good counter-pressing position. When the potential counter comes, he takes the perfect angle to filter it to one side if you're going to try and play it through,
even with not a lot of possession.
David, a good question in the chat about when these players will start to feel fatigue in days. These 15-year-olds here in the semifinal. But David, one thing I always felt as a player that yes, the physical fatigue is real, but the harder piece to fight through is the mental and emotional level that you have to get to. For each trying to wave from the right side to the left side, they're funneling LAFC's possession to this right back, Santiago. They bring the right wide player in. They don't allow up the scoring
for this side, the second of the tournament. Guerra now cycles it over to Santiago. Out wide for Wanchope, one-on-one, and Garcia wins that back on our broadcast tomorrow, as well as the U15 final, as these young players, they will earn their spot to play on the field.
The ideas in transition, they have the talent to initiate it.
So many people that are watching these games, you never know who you can impress.
Yeah, you said it, New.
Wanchope, his left-footed.
Be successful finding an extra man. 3 LAFC midfielders against the 4 Timbers ones. They haven't been able to create a chance out of the build-out phase, but they have not given ever turnovers to LAFC's press, and for the most part, they've been able to break that first line.
Santiago coming to the field now. Son of a college soccer player, showing his qualities. Zamudia immediately over the top for Santos. Noah Santos brings this one. Starting lineup for this game. So an opportunity for that young man to take over in the starting lineup. And a beautiful long big collision between him and Zamudia. Excuse me, that was Aguilar. Always know where the next pass is going. LAFC, if you give them enough chance, enough times, they will pin you so deep.
And be good on the ball to deal with the pressure and still find ways to break lines.
I think the quarterfinals are happening on the field around us. Inter Miami
conversation here.
I would expect it to be another 15 minutes before they feel the urgency, especially since they've been getting it's going to be easy. Because everyone told you it would be easy, and you got the goal. Have punished them for that complacency, showing that they can hurt them at any moment.
The battle there. Santiago ends up being fouled by Brommer.
David, coming out of halftime, the Portland Timbers making 2 changes.
that next pass, they said, we have those options, and let's make Portland be the ones to move. Since we have the lead, we can control the team.
Turns that one over to Zamudia, but Santiago steps in and wins it back for LAFC. For LAFC, they have their leading goal scorer coming into this tournament, U.S. Youth International, Charlie Rosenthal, on the bench, and he is starting to warm up. It's cross floated to the far post. It's forward. Pushes it wide for Santiago, whose cross is blocked. Garcia.
There's a shout out here. Somebody's going to enjoy watching these broadcasts more,
at least over the course of this week. And we expect another one. The Timbers to stop Santiago, as well as Ramirez, has been at-ender. Back out wide for Santiago as some games have finished around us, and you can see the teams
starting on the other side. Santiago a few yards off the touchline. The winger in the wide channel. Do you want to go right, left, or break the line? Here he goes left to the midfielder dropping.
Lumsden now up to Santiago. Rosenthal drops it back to Lumsden. Lumsden closed down over to Luckton. Luckton short. Harder now, 1v1 with Santiago. Santiago pokes it back out. The final 5 minutes of regulation. The Timbers hunting for Josh Santiago. Obviously used his right foot. Can he put LAFC ahead once again? Santiago shot, save!